Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you from the Emirates where, hold on, if we just turn this round, so you're looking at the sort of tail end of the lap of appreciation, all the players and their families over there in front of the North Bank. Most of the fans have gone home now, but it's been really good scenes here after full time. I mean, it's finished Arsenal 5, Wolves 0, perfect way to sort of round off the season for Arsenal. Wolves very much on the beach and Arsenal very good. Really top performance, perfect way to go out really. Granit Xhaka on his we think is his final game. It's not been confirmed yet obviously, but I think we all know it, and he's just watched him going around here in the lap of appreciation. He sort of walked around behind everyone else, he was waving, it just looked like a goodbye. He had the fans holding the banner up there saying about Granit Xhaka, all the other fans chanting his name, chanting "we want you to stay," which went on during the match as well, which was pretty remarkable. When just the whole story of Granit, when you think of what he was 3 years ago to where he is now, he's got 60,000 people chanting for him to stay and giving him a standing ovation as he walks off. It's been a remarkable story really, and it's a perfect way for him to bow out today if, as expected, he does end up moving to Bayer Leverkusen fairly soon. And yeah, it's just been a really nice way to finish really. The atmosphere has been great. I mean, Arsenal finished second, 5 points behind Manchester City. Manchester City losing against Brentford today, so Arsenal finished 5 points behind the champions, 9 points ahead of Manchester United in third, 24 points ahead of Tottenham. It's been a great season, and the atmosphere in it was so special today. It really was. I thought it would be like this. I thought it would be a bit of a celebration today. Look, obviously you're not celebrating the title or anything like that. Everyone's disappointed, but it's still been a brilliant season. It's still been so much fun to watch. The fans have loved it, and it was just, it was a carnival-like atmosphere in here today. The last 10 minutes were great. Everyone, the whole stadium up chanting. Mikel Arteta came out afterwards to do a speech on the microphone to the whole crowd, and he couldn't even start because the whole stadium was singing his name for a minute, and it just kind of summed it up. Obviously it helped that they won 5-0 and it was a really good performance. And yeah, just sort of go into I thought it was important to win today, just to go into the summer on a bit of a high. Obviously the last two results have been poor, 2 defeats. You didn't want to go into the summer on the back of another poor performance and another bad result, so I thought it was important to get a win, and they did it, and they did it really, really well. And it's just sort of added to the atmosphere. As you can see, that everyone's still out there now. All their kids are playing. Zinchenko's little girl just scored a goal in front of the North Bank, had everyone cheering as it went in. It was a really nice moment, and yeah, it's just a good thing. At the end of this video, if you wait after I finish, I'll add on some of the sort of the lap of honour, lap of appreciation type moments here, so you can have if you weren't here and weren't able to experience it, you're able to see what it was like and hear the experience. The players are all beginning to go down there now, and interesting to see what Mikel Arteta says. Interesting to see if Granit Xhaka speaks or not. We're going to try and go down and get a word with Granit in the mix zone. Hopefully he'll speak, but we'll wait and see. Obviously nothing's done yet, as far as we know nothing's done yet, but if it is his last game, like I said, perfect way to bow out. Arsenal are very good. They've had the perfect start, 2 goals in 20 minutes for Xhaka, which kind of just, it sucked the life out of Wolves. They had nothing to play for, and they weren't ever going to really bust the gut to try and get back into the game. Bukayo Saka, fresh from signing his new contract, made it 3-0 with a really nice finish set up by Leandro Trossard, who was very good again. And then second half, 2 more goals. Kivior scoring to make it 5-0 after Gabriel Jesus had made it 4 with a back post header from another Trossard assist. Really good play that was by Trossard down the left, crossing the ball in, and a nice header from Jesus to make it 4. And then, like I said, Kivior scrambling one in right at the end to make it 5-0 and round off a very comfortable win, a very impressive final day result, and a very impressive season. I'm not going to go into it too much more. I've spoke about it before, giving my thoughts on the season, but I thought today was a nice way to bow out, and I thought the fans in here really gave the players the sort of credit they deserved, which was nice. And you can tell they're all out there now with their families, all very, very much buzzing over it. Okay, let's talk player ratings now. They're going to be good, as you can imagine, after a 5-0 win. Aaron Ramsdale basically could have been sitting there on a chair for 90 minutes. He was that uninvolved, and it was that much of a comfortable day's work for him. What he did fine, but he didn't really have to do much at all. His passing was good, his distribution was good, a couple of really nice passes out to split the lines. So I gave Aaron a 6 for doing basically nothing. In defence, Thomas Partey was a right back once again, played much better than he did against Nottingham Forest, got forward a lot more, moved into midfield a lot when Arsenal had possession, was good defensively when he had to be, so I thought he played well. I gave him a 7. Gabriel and Kivior, I gave 7 each. Maybe I could give Kivior an 8 because he scored. He had a tough time, Kivior. He's playing at left back today. He had a tough time up against the pace of Traore, where everyone's going to struggle against Traore in a one-to-one battle, pace-wise. But I thought what he did was really, really good. Was he basically accepted he wasn't going to win the battle in pace-wise, but then he sort of stepped back and then he won the second battle against him, and he did well, and he got his goal as well. So he played well. But I gave him a 7, Gabriel 7, Ben White a 7. Really comfortable for Ben White and for Gabriel. They just weren't tested really. At centre back in midfield, I thought Jorginho played really, really well. Kept the ball moving quickly. Played some really nice passes. Thought it was a really good performance from Jorginho, so I gave him an 8. Granit Xhaka, I've given him a 9. 2 goals to set the ball rolled in, played really well before he got his big standing ovation when he got substituted. Just a perfect ending for Granit Xhaka, as I said, and a really good performance from him, so I gave him a 9. He's my man of the match, has to be really. Odegaard, really lively. Some second half especially, it was some proper champagne stuff from Odegaard. I was hoping he was going to score a couple of times. I thought he would have deserved it, but he didn't quite get that shooting opportunity. But some of his movements, some of his little bits of technique and his trickery was excellent. It was a joy to watch, as always. Really good performance from him, to give him an 8. And then up front, Saka, great to see him back with a goal, which was really important, and a lovely goal as well. Caused a lot of problems, got a lot of kicks as usual, limped off as usual. But he's been out there, I've been watching him, he's out there with his family, looks happy enough. Whether he goes away on England in international duty, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he doesn't. It'd be good for him to have a summer off, but we'll wait and see. But it's a really good goal by Xhaka, lovely curling finish as usual into the far corner. So I gave Saka, I gave a 7. Jesus, I gave a 8. Nice back post finish for him on a header. It was interesting watching him. Saka was actually playing as a centre forward a lot, and Jesus was sort of switching over to the right a lot, and his goal came from coming in off the right hand side for a back post header, which I thought was an interesting thing. I've not really seen too much of that so far this season. A little bit of a tactical tweak by Mikel Arteta. So I gave Jesus an 8, and Trossard 2 more assists for him. Unlucky not to score. I had one shot that was going right towards the top corner, didn't quite make it. It was a good save from Jose Sarr, but another good performance from Trossard. 2 more assists. Really looking forward to seeing what he does next season after a full pre-season as well. Unbelievable, he's only finished with 1 goal since he arrived from Arsenal. It feels like he could have had like 7 or 8, and just goalkeepers have made some really good saves. He's hit the woodwork a few times. He's had that goal at Leicester ruled out by VAR. It's a mad that he's only scored 1 goal, honestly. It feels like he could, like I said, have 6 or 7 or 8 even. So Trossard gets an 8. The substitutes that came on, Reece Nelson did really well, I thought, as once again he was really lively. Eddie Nketiah was really close to making it 6-0, just a couple of inches away from getting on the end of a Reece Nelson cross. Emil Smith-Rowe came on, and I can't even remember who came on after that. Fabio Vieira and Kieran Tierney for his little swan song as well. So really good way to round off the season. It's been a lot of fun. The sun's been shining, lovely weather. Arsenal scored 5 goals, and as you can see, the players all still out there having a nice little time with their families as well. So that's it from me. It's finished Arsenal 5, Wolves 0. Like I said, stay on now, and I'll put on some of the clips from the lap of appreciation for you to look at and to listen to the atmosphere.